Hello and welcome to the channel. Welcome here in Umoja. My name is Dennis Uhuru, and this is a video that I didn't want to have to make. I've thought deep and hard about it, and I've realized sometimes when push comes to shove, because if you don't shove back, then you end up taking the push and hating yourself for the actions of other men. And I realized that making this video will be difficult and it will cause dissension, but I make this video with my best interests at heart, because I also realize that the only person that has your best interest at heart is yourself. And so I'm going to make this video. I'm not going to embellish anything, I'm not going to exaggerate anything, I'm going to say the truth. And hopefully by the end you will realize why I had to make this video. Somebody has moved my cheese. You know, when you're about to eat something, you can almost taste how delicious it's going to be. You're prepared, all your senses are ready to take this delicious delicacy in. And just before you put it in your mouth, somebody moves your cheese. That is what has happened. And I've got to do something. So I've divided this video into 4 parts. How it started, how things developed, how my cheese was moved, and how you can help me do something about it. So let's begin with how things started. The people that watch this YouTube channel already know that I'm a video editor. And if you're new to the channel, I work as a video editor for the Mara Nomads, which is an adventure travel company. They do expeditions to remote places and places where very few people have been. It's a beautiful YouTube channel. And I've worked with them for quite a while. So how did things start between us? October 6th, 2021, the leader of the Mara Nomads reached out to me and said, I just stumbled into your timeline and saw that you do video editing. What is your rate? I sent him a rate card at 8:48 p.m. which I will now show here. And in the rate card, I specified my pricing for video editing. I divided my video editing into 2 parts. The first is standard editing, which includes intro, outro, B-roll, slow motion, sound effects, transitions, basic titles, audio mixing, background music, at 150 shillings per minute in length of final video. What that means is you can give me all the raw files that you want, that you have. I edit them, and the final result I will charge 150 shillings per minute in length. So if a video is 10 minutes, how much will that be? And then complex editing, which is everything in standard editing, motion titles, motion tracking, masking, etc., is 250 shillings per minute in length of final video. This was my rate card at the time, and I said, and that's my rate card, feel free to reach out for further inquiries. The leader of the Mara Nomads reached out and called me because I shared my number is on the rate card, and he said, what I have in mind is a continuing relationship. I don't want you to edit for me once, I want you to keep editing for me over time. And I told him, well, for that, it would fall under the 250 shillings per minute pricing. That we negotiated, and he said, because this is a continuing relationship, we may increase prices in future. So, and right now, I don't know the kind of work that you will do. Let us work with 150 shillings per minute of video editing. And I said, well, that is okay, that makes sense. He doesn't know what I do, what I can do in terms of video editing, so that is fine. And so I went and started working for the Mara Nomads as a video editor. The first video I did for them is hiking Mount Longonot with kids, that was published on October 29th, 2021. 2 years, 11 months, and 11 days. That is how long we've been working together. And that is how the relationship between us started. How did things progress? When we started, the Mara Nomads had about 330 subscribers, thereabouts. And And we started working together. At the time, I was an insurance agent as well. For a very long time, we worked together, and the channel was growing at the normal rate that YouTube channels grow at. You know, it wasn't very well known, and so pole things were moving slowly. And as the channel continued growing, the workload continued increasing. As that continued to happen, I started realizing that 150 shillings was too little for the amount of work that I was doing. I said, well, it's time that we sit down and negotiate this. Because you think about it, if a 10-minute video is 1500 Kenyan shillings, it means that a 20-minute video would be 3000 Kenyan shillings. A 10-minute video typically takes 3 days to edit. I'm talking about a travel video, you know. A travel video has many moving parts. You have to stitch a story together, find the appropriate music, decide what cuts go in, decide what to get rid of. And also the amount of raw files that you start with is bulky, very massive. So you have to watch many video files to know what is going in and what is not going in. And then you stitch a story together, put the correct... It's a lot. So a 10-minute video will typically take 3 days to edit. A 20-minute video will therefore, if things are ideal, take 6 days to edit. Video editing is very intensive. You start a project with a lot of energy, then as time goes on, your mind starts to, you know, become a bit more tired. So even though a 20-minute video is supposed to take you 6 days, sometimes it ends up taking more than that. Let us say that everything is ideal and a 20-minute video takes you 6 days to edit, right? That's a week gone. A week in which you can't do anything else. You can't even make content for yourself because I'm a YouTuber, right? So I realized that I was spending a lot of time working on this channel that was not mine, and I wasn't getting the compensation that I thought I should be getting. The first renegotiation I attempted was on October 5th, 2022. This is the message I wrote. Hello, I trust you're well. Next month will mark 1 year of working together. I'm grateful for that. Given the times, of course I mean the economic times, I'd like to review my video rates. 150 shillings is not what it used to be. Going forward, I'd like to propose the following rates for my own sustainability. 250 shillings a minute for the first 10 minutes, 200 shillings a minute for the next minutes thereafter. Voiceovers to be presented with files before edit, not after, for speedy workflow. I'm not going to get into all that. Basically, what used to happen, and still happens even up to now, sometimes I deliver video files, and then as we are reviewing the video files, I'm given voiceovers to add to these video files, which is not a very elegant way of doing things. You know, at that point, a video is cooked already, things are baked in. So to add things like voiceovers at that point, it's very difficult. Anyway, I'm sending this right now to give you time to consider. I didn't want to spring it on you when there's work to be done. This new pricing model is due to the harsh economic times and not for any other reason. Kindly consider it and let me know what you think when you're able. Right, so when I sent that, I didn't get any reply, at least not immediately. Oh, another thing I'm failing to mention is, on top of the 150 shillings that I was being paid to edit these videos, 150 shillings per minute, I was also being given transport to and from the office when I was going to collect content and when I was delivering content. In July 11th, 2021, I came to a certain realization. By this point, I'd moved out of my aunt's place, I'd gone to Ongata Rongai, I was paying rent, you know. And I think by this point, I'd left my job as an insurance agent, so I didn't have any other job. This is the only job I had. So it came to my realization that if this was the only job I had, I needed to try to start treating it as a job. So far, we'd worked with the Mara Nomads, and I didn't have any agreement on any piece of paper stating how I'm supposed to be paid, what are the deliverables, what is expected of me and what is expected of my client. There was no agreement of any sort. It was all word of mouth, right? So I decided at this point to send to the Mara Nomads a video editing agreement. The major points are: number 2, the cost payable by Mara Nomads to Dennis Uhuru for video editing shall be 250 Kenyan shillings per video minute of the final video edit draft. Maranomas shall also reimburse Denis Uhuru transport fees. At this point, I wanted to make that official before it wasn't. And additionally, Maranomas will pay Denis Ochieng Uhuru 500 Kenyan shillings for the design of YouTube thumbnails. YouTube thumbnails are those pictures that you see and then you click on to watch a video on YouTube. So I was designing those as well. I still do up to now. So I said that I'd charge 500 shillings for those thumbnails. I presented this to the Maranomads. Yeah, they went through it. They called me to the office. They told me 250 shillings per minute they could not do. They could increase the rate from 150 shillings to 200 shillings per video minute. Okay, so it went from 150 Kenyan shillings to 200 Kenyan shillings per video per minute of the finished file. So if a 10-minute video was 1500 before, it would become 2000. If a 20-minute video was 3000 before, it would become 20 by 20, 4000, right? And then they said they would give me transport to pick the files and also to deliver the files. The other thing they would do is they would pay me 500 Kenyan shillings for the design of thumbnails. These terms and conditions that I'd prepared, they said they were not going to sign them. They said that everything I'd written in the terms and conditions was favoring me. And so the leader of the Maranomads, who is also a lawyer, said he'd take that agreement, look at it, make a few changes, then give it back to me to sign, so that we have terms that are favoring him as well. I thought, well, that is okay. You have a look and maybe propose a few things of your own and let us agree, and then let us have an agreement that is official. That never happened. Up to today, there is no formal letter or formal agreement between us and the Maranomads. Up to today, we work by word of mouth. Alright, so that was July 2023. Payment changed from 150 shillings per minute went to 200 shillings per minute. And I was added 500 shillings for thumbnails and also fare to and from the office to pick files and to deliver files. If a video is 20 minutes, how much would I receive for it? 20 minutes times 200 shillings, that would be 4,000, plus 500 Kenyan shillings for the thumbnail, plus 250 shillings for transport. For a 20-minute video file, I'd receive 4,750 Kenyan shillings. That is the state of affairs at that point. From July 2023, we kept working and the Maranomads kept growing up to the year 2024, this year, right? And I noticed that I was getting older. I'm 30 years old. I turned 30 in May of this year. So I noticed I was getting older and the Maranomads was growing in leaps and bounds. I was the one editing videos for the Maranomads, building a brand for the Maranomads. And I wasn't really growing. You guys that know how I used to live before I came to Umoja know how I used to live, you know. I was really struggling. And I thought, this can't continue. We can't continue like this, you know. Maranoma's channel has become such a big thing. It's being talked about all over the place, on Twitter, all over these places. You know, some brands are reaching out and things like that are happening. But my life is not changing by much. So I thought 200 shillings is not going to cut it. You know, 200 shillings is not going to cut it, man. You know, it is not going to cut it. It is not going to cut it, man. So then what happened? I wrote a proposal to the Maranomads on February 2nd, 2024. On that proposal, I outlined the growth that the Maranomads had gone through, the growth that I had contributed to, and I contrasted that to my own growth. So I'll just go through this proposal with you guys very quickly. To the Maranomads. Dear Maranomads, I would like to start this proposal by stating that it has been a pleasure to work for you editing videos for the Maranomads YouTube channel. It has been 3 years working together. We've had our differences a few times, but overall it has been a good 3 years and the channel has grown in leaps and bounds since then. Our first video, Hiking Mount Longonot, went live on 29th October 2021. However, a number of factors have necessitated a rethink on my part concerning the video editing rates I charge to you. They include my skill set, the cost of living, the amount of work need to level up my job and reinvest in it, and my age. I turned 30 in May. My value proposition. The Maranormas channel has grown from 350 subscribers when I joined to 17,700 subscribers at the time of writing this letter. This was February of 2024. Right now, the channel is at it's approaching 40,000 subs. So at that point, I said this is a growth of 4,957%. Okay. The second thing, storytelling. Storytelling in video editing cannot be taught. I have mastered the art of storytelling to extract maximum entertainment value from raw video files, as evidenced by the comments received on YouTube. Okay? You can go to those videos yourself and just look through the comments. They really, resonate with people. People love that channel. 3. Video post-processing. Due to the nature of the Maranormas niche, the raw video files are massive. I have to watch all of them, convert a large part to 1080p, pick the best parts, cut out the bad parts, stitch a story together, find background music that works, add subtitles, add text overlays, add narrations, and do revisions. It's a lot of work. Music library. I have, over the many months of working together, cultivated a music library for the Maranormas YouTube channel that evokes emotion and fits with the overall theme of the channel. Okay? Thumbnail design. The first part of a video the audience sees on YouTube is the thumbnail. I have designed a familiar look to the Maranormas YouTube channel with a color scheme that attracts attention and clicks and is not overwhelming. The current payment structure and why it is not feasible. Currently, the Maranormas pay me for my video editing services as follows: 200 shillings per minute of final video draft, 500 shillings per minute for thumbnails, 500 per thumbnail, not per minute, and 250 shillings for transport. The last 10 videos on the Maranormas YouTube channels are a total of 294 minutes. The average video length for the last 10 videos, therefore, is 30 minutes, for which I will receive 6,000 for length, 500 for thumbnail, and 250 for transport, totaling 6,750. So I was just giving an example. If a video is 30 minutes long, I'd receive 6,750 shillings for it. And then I said a 10-minute video takes me roughly 3 days to edit, a 20-minute video takes 6 days, a 30-minute video takes 10 days. Therefore, by that calculation, my effective day rate is 675 shillings. I said I am woefully underpaid. And then, important to note, I said this is not a side hustle for me, it is my job. So I said, with that in mind, here are my proposed payment rates. Hourly rate of $5 or 750 shillings per hour. Day rate of $30 or 4,500. Okay? So I said it takes 3 days to edit a 10-minute video, the cost of which is 13,500. It takes 6 days to edit a 20-minute video, the cost of which is 27,000. It takes 10 days to edit a 30-minute video, the cost of which is 45,000. These rates will be revisited after an end period of 12 months. So that was my first proposal. Then a second proposed payment scheme is a monthly salary of 50,000 Kenyan shillings on a 1-year contract. So I sent these two rates to so that they could choose which one was more favorable, right? And then the third proposed rate is 20,000 shillings a month basic salary and a bonus system of half of what every new video makes in his first month at the rate of 0.4 shillings per view. So after all that, I said I'd love for what I do to be a meaningful enterprise. I cannot love what I do if it doesn't afford me a sustainable livelihood. And then on top of that, I also wrote to the Maranormas a monetization plan, how they could increase their earnings on YouTube so that they are able to afford these new rates. At this point, the Maranormas had already attained monetization by YouTube, but it was not being monetized. The channel was not being monetized. I wrote a proposal here, Maranormas YouTube monetization plan by Dennis Uhuru. So there were options that were open to the Maranormas, so now to increase money. And I said, as things stand, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. For one, the Maranomads has already attained monetization and you are not monetizing it. That is a lot of money that is being left on the table. Because up to that point, the leader of the Maranomads was like, can videos really make any money, any sustainable money on YouTube? He was skeptical about YouTube ad revenue. So he wasn't monetizing the channel. Yeah, he thought that it wouldn't make any substantial amount. And so the leader of the Maranomads said, this is what we are going to do. I cannot increase your earnings from 200 shillings, but we can monetize the YouTube channel and I'll let you keep what the YouTube channel makes. And that will be like the addition for you on your compensation. And I was like, that is great. And when we monetize the YouTube channel, the way YouTube pays money is you have to have a Google AdSense account. At the end of every month, YouTube sends that the money that channel has made to a connected AdSense account. And then that AdSense account, which is also by Google, then sends the money to your bank account at the end of the following month. Because at that point I already had a monetized YouTube channel, we connected my AdSense account to the Maranomads YouTube channel. So whichever money the Maranomads would make out of ad revenue would go to my AdSense account. Okay? That is what we agreed on. That was in, I think, about April of this year, and we monetized the channel. I came to a realization that this was going to be very good. I could actually make changes in my life. And if you watch my videos on my YouTube channel, you will realize that after May of this year, my life changed drastically. And in previous videos, I've talked about how there was an increase in my earnings around that time. And that increase in my earnings is what has made me move to this house from Ongata Rongai. My decision to move to this place was informed by this increase in earnings, because I realized that if the Maranomads channel could make about $100 or $150 per month in ad revenue, I could afford to pay rent in this house. So I said, let me move, I'm 30 years old, let me move to a better place, a more decent place, you know, where when I wake up in the morning I feel good about myself, and where, you know, I can, start to feel good about the job that I'm doing. We've come to how somebody moved my cheese. Let's talk about that. How did somebody move my cheese? To recap, just so you understand where we are at, up to this point and even up to now when we are talking, there's no agreement between me and the Maranomads that is signed and written and is official between us. Second thing is, my payment structure, which was 200 Kenyan shillings per minute of final videos, plus 500 shillings for the thumbnail, plus 250 shillings for transport, had been determined not to be attainable by me. So we sat down with the Maranomads after writing proposals to them, and the leader of the Maranomads agreed to let me keep ad revenue from the Maranomads YouTube channel. So we connected my AdSense account to the Maranomads YouTube channel, so that the money that the Maranomads would make in ad revenue would go to my AdSense account. Okay, that's where we are at. So how did somebody move my cheese? About 2 months ago, the Maranomads did an 18-day expedition to Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe. Okay? An 18-day expedition. And in a recent video I talked about how I was tired from working on a massive video project. That is the video project I was talking about. Because when they came back, the files were this massive, you know. So they came back and they gave me those files, and it has been tough working on those files. Those videos have done very well. The audience is often excited. They're like, you did this trip, we saw, pictures on Twitter and things like that. Upload the video, we want to watch it. So by breaking the video into parts, we don't keep people waiting too long. For the Victoria Falls trip, the 18-day trip to Victoria Falls, we determined that we would break it down into 4 parts. As of now, 3 parts have already gone up. So the first part, which went up 3 weeks ago, 18 days, 5 nations, 2 lakes, 7,000 kilometers, 50 Kenyans and 20 cars. That video has garnered 200,000 views. A lot of views. The second part, part 2, Border Chaos and Beach Bliss, 2 weeks ago, 64,000 views. The third video, which went up 5 days ago, the part 3, Victoria Falls, Nomads Have Landed, that video has 56,000 views. By these videos performing this well, the ad revenue particularly went quite high. In the month of September, from these first 2 videos, part 1 of Victoria Falls and part 2, the channel made about 690 US dollars. That's about 89,000. 89,000. Remember, it is my AdSense account that is connected to the Maranomas YouTube channel. So I was supposed to pocket this money, okay? As per the agreement that we had. As soon as I saw how much these 2 videos were making, I knew this money would cause a problem. I just knew it. So when I went to deliver part 2 of this trip, Victoria Falls, I could already see that this money was going to cause an issue, because the leader of the Maranomas was like, we need to renegotiate. We need to renegotiate. And I was like, yeah, we can't renegotiate. We had an agreement that the purpose of this trip, these 4 videos from the Victoria Falls trip, would be to buy a video editing laptop. Because we've struggled with that for a very long time. You know, I edit videos using this HP laptop, which is not a video editing laptop. And for a long time we've struggled with that. I remember at some point we said that I would work and the Maranomas would keep my earnings until they got to an amount where they could buy a video editing laptop. But very quickly I changed my mind about that, because I was like, I can't, if I work and you keep my money, how am I going to survive? How am I going to make rent and food and things like that? So because we saw how well these videos were doing, we said, let's take this money and purchase a video editing laptop. And I even sent a message on WhatsApp to the leader of the Maranomas about that. I wasn't even going to chew it. I was going to use it to buy a video editing laptop, which would make my video editing work better. It would mean better videos for the Maranomas, because as at now we upload videos in 1080p. With the video editing laptop we can start uploading videos in 4K. So overall it would be a win-win for the both of us. So we agreed, after buying this video editing laptop, we would sit down and renegotiate rates. Ad revenue for the Maranomas YouTube channel is actually going to be a very small part of the revenue that channel is capable of making. Once they incorporate shopping into the channel and affiliate marketing, they can make vastly more money than what ad revenue is making for them at this time. So he said, we get to a point where you keep ad revenue and I don't pay you for the minutes. And I thought that was fair. But to formalize this, we said, first, let's buy the video editing laptop, then sit down and discuss and renegotiate. And that was fine. That was the agreement that we had when I took part 2 of Victoria Falls to the office. You know, when you have a YouTube channel, you can give permissions to people to see like the analytics of the YouTube channel and to help you reply to comments and things like that, to help you manage the channel. I was given the permission of an editor in the Maranomas YouTube channel. So an editor can see how much money a YouTube channel is making. The day before yesterday, when I was checking to see the performance of the 3rd video we put up on the channel, I realized that my AdSense account had been disconnected from the Maranomas YouTube channel, to mean that any further earnings the Maranomas is going to make in ad revenue are not going to go to my AdSense account. My AdSense account has been cut off. And this was done without any notification. Nobody called me. The leader of the Maranomas didn't call me to talk to me about it. Remember, we had said after buying a video editing laptop, we would sit down and renegotiate rates. now that this ad revenue was starting to become, you know, sweet. So we said we'd sit down and renegotiate rates after buying the video editing laptop. But I just woke up to find the day before yesterday that my AdSense account has been disconnected from the Mara Nomads YouTube channel. That is how somebody moved my cheese. I was preparing, I was ready. I'd even started researching video editing laptops. But the thing is, let me show you guys, as at now, my AdSense account, this is my AdSense account. As you can see, the last payment last month was $72. So that includes earnings from the Mara Nomads YouTube channel and my own YouTube channel, $72. This month, the payment for this month, which is supposed to be September earnings, has not yet reflected. The balance is zero, as you can see. YouTube typically sends money to AdSense around 7th to 12th of the month, and then payment is made by AdSense to your bank account around 22nd to 25th. So now that my AdSense account has been disconnected from the Mara Nomads, I don't know where that 90,000 is going to go. I don't know if because they disconnected it the day before yesterday, that money is going to come to my AdSense account. I'll know that by maybe tomorrow or the day after yesterday, or the day or the day after tomorrow. I'll know where that money has gone, and when I know that, I'll let you guys know where that money has gone. If it reflects in my account, I'll let you know. If it doesn't reflect, I'll let you know. So my cheese has been moved. Yeah, let's talk about how I feel about that. What pains me what pains me is the fact that nobody thought it fit to notify me or to call me and to talk to me about this, you know. They cut that my AdSense integration as though I'm a thief, or as though I'm somebody from the roadside, as though I'm not a partner in all of this, you know. And so what it tells me is that the leadership of the Mara Nomads think that I do not deserve to keep this money, you know. I do not deserve to pocket this amount of money going forward. They're like, this money is too much for Dennis Uhuru, you know. Dennis Uhuru, you know, cheza chini, that's what we say in Kenya. Cheza chini kijana, hiyo do bado ni mingi bro kwako. That is exactly what they are trying to say. I mean, why would you not call me to the office and say, we want to change this? But we had even talked about that. We had said, let us buy a video editing laptop, sit down and renegotiate. But now, AdSense integration cut out. And I'm just like, you know, I've been here all along, you know. These videos and the impact that they've had, I am at least 50% responsible for that. At least 50%. And you know what most people don't realize is, shooting videos is 20% of the work. Editing those videos is 80% of the work. 80% of the work. Okay? So, the Mara Nomads, I have to say, have an excellent product. Nobody is doing what they're doing. Nobody is doing expeditions to remote places and bringing people along and having that familial feeling, and you know, it's a beautiful product. But when you come back from those trips with those files, they're just files. You cannot upload those gigabytes to YouTube. They have to be stitched together into a story that is consumerable, that is consumable. You know? And I am the one who does that. I am the one who does that. These 3 years, from 300 subscribers to how much? The Mara Nomads 38.2 thousand subscribers. I have edited those videos. The Mara Nomads have created the videos, I have edited them. And that is at least 50% responsible for the success of the Mara Nomads YouTube channel. Treat me as though I'm a valuable member of the team. You know, call me to the office, talk to me about that. Before you cutting that out like that, it's not right. The reason I moved to this house is based on that ad revenue. That ad revenue and the increase in compensation that it accorded me is what informed my decision to move to this house, to improve my life a little bit. Because before that, I couldn't, even providing food for myself was a struggle. And that is why at the beginning I said, I felt that I had no recourse but to respond. I had to respond, I had to say something, you know. The Mara Nomads, by taking out my AdSense integration, are communicating that that money is too much for me. To do what? To pocket. It is too much for me to do what? To pocket. Yeah? So, this is what I want to do about it. And this is where you guys come in to help me. I had two options, okay? The first option was to sit in silence and wait for the Mara Nomads to decide how much money Dennis deserves. Okay? How much money Dennis deserves. That was my first option. My second option was to make a play for freedom. Wish them well, let them find somebody else to edit their videos. And take my time and my energies and create videos for myself and edit my videos for myself and see where that takes me. But the struggle is I still have rent to pay, I still have to provide food for myself. So this is how you guys can come in and help me stay true to my name. Uhuru means freedom. And that is why I lean towards the second option of freedom. This is how you guys can help me. One of the options for YouTube monetization is channel memberships. Okay? And channel memberships is a way that an audience of a YouTube channel can choose to sponsor that YouTube channel by making recurrent payments to the YouTube channel. Now, I have a membership offer on my website, on my channel, and I'm pricing it at $1.99 US. $1.99 US. Now, I'm going to ask for volunteers. I need at least 30 to 40 of you guys to join my channel memberships at $1.99 US. And if you guys help me in this way, then I'll do my damnedest in creating content to ensure that my channel makes the remainder of my rent and some money for food. Okay? And if I'm able to do that, then I can go my own path. I can leave the Mara Nomads to do as they will, to keep the money that they've decided is too much for me and to do my own thing. So that is my plea to you guys. I need 40 volunteers to join my channel memberships. That is not to say I am not afraid about what this will mean. I am afraid. But you know, fear has never stopped me before. I was afraid when Tuskies fired me. Somehow I found a way to survive. I was afraid to leave my house in Eldoret and move in with my aunt in Nairobi. But I did, not knowing what that would mean either. I was afraid to leave my aunt's house and go to Ongata Rongai. I didn't even have enough money to move out from my aunt's place. But I moved out. I was afraid to quit my job, my insurance job, to do content creation full time. But I quit my insurance job. I was afraid to move from Ongata Rongai, the double room I was living in, to Umoja. Just 2 months ago. I was afraid to do that. But I moved. And right now I am afraid to break out with the Mara Nomads and strike my own path. But I will do it in response to the move they've made. I feel that I have to make a move in response to that. I am afraid, but I'll do it nevertheless. that's been that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel if this is your first time to the channel. And then I'll see you in the next video.